Welcome, my friends, to another exciting episode of WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare. I am your host, Bloody Bill Fox. And it is week 2 of Viewer's Choice Month here in Fantasy Warfare. Last week, we had 5 out of 6 chosen by the viewers. We had that Kenny Omega and Roman Reigns saga that needed to be settled, and it was settled as we have a brand new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. But this week, every single match on the card was chosen by the viewers. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's going to be happening this week here in Fantasy Warfare. Our opening contest of the week will see a battle between teacher and student as the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, goes up against the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Our second matchup of the week will see singles action when AJ Lee, for a second week in a row, steps into the ring in Fantasy Warfare to do battle with Nikki Cross. Our third match of the week is an interesting one. An AEW World Heavyweight Championship match under Extreme Rules as Dustin Rhodes goes one-on-one with Ravem. Our fourth match of the week will be for the Raw Women's Championship as Bianca Belair defends her title against Jacqueline. And then, the Hell in a Cell structure will lower itself into Fantasy Warfare as the Monster Abyss goes one-on-one with the Phenom, The Undertaker. And then in our main event of the week, it will be title versus title. Big Eagle versus Big Gold. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin going one-on-one with Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Well, there you have it, folks. We've got 6 action-packed matches this week. Let's not waste any more time, shall we? Let's head on down to ringside. It's the American Dragon. It's the Heartbreak Kid. Bryan Danielson and Shawn Michaels kicks things off this week here on Fantasy Warfare. Welcome down to ringside for another week of WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare. What a barn burner we've got on tap to kick things off this week.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Aberdeen, Washington. Weighing in at 206 pounds, Bryan Danielson.
The American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, entering the Fantasy Warfare arena. Here this week to do battle with a man who had a hand in training the American Dragon. That man being none other than WWE Hall of Famer, 2-time Hall of Famer, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. What a victory it would be for Bryan Danielson to be able to defeat his trainer here this week in Fantasy Warfare. Going retro today. Check out that 93 attire. Shawn Michaels throwing it retro.
Texas. Weighing in at 241 pounds, Shawn Michaels.
Where's the rest of that pyro going off? Do you guys hear that pyro still going off? Because I still heard that pyro going off. But Shawn Michaels making his way out here. Fantasy Warfare, our opening contest here this week. It was a wild affair last week here in Fantasy Warfare as we kicked off Viewer's Choice Month. 5 Viewer's Choice matches, plus we capped it off with the Extreme Rules match between Roman Reigns and Kenny Omega, in which a new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion was crowned when Roman Reigns was able to make Kenny Omega tap out. Bell rings and we are officially underway in this one. Bryan Danielson and Shawn Michaels kicking things off this week here in Fantasy Warfare as Bryan Danielson started off with a double arm underhook suplex. And now Michaels sweeping the legs of Danielson out from underneath, now trying to rip that arm right out of the socket. Nice short elbow drop by the Heartbreak Kid. What's he going for? Got a little confused in the running there. Heading up to the top rope. Now he's calling for Danielson to get up to his feet. Missing that double axe handle. And Danielson makes him pay for it with a big-time neck breaker, bringing Michaels down to the mat. As we noted before, it is Viewer's Choice Week, Viewer's Choice Month to be more precise. This week, every single match on the card was chosen by the viewers at some point here during Season 1, whether it was early submissions or during that recent period of time where we were asking you on social media to drop your submissions for Fantasy Warfare Viewer Choice Month. Michaels now with a camel clutch. He doesn't got the arms hooked, though. I said that allowed Danielson to slip right out. Nice neck breaker again by the American Dragon, focusing on the neck of Shawn Michaels. It's been well documented that Michaels has had back troubles. In fact, those troubles are what halted his career from 1998 to 2002. But Danielson looking to add to those woes with some neck troubles, focusing on that neck here in this contest. But Michaels himself has been going after the arm of Bryan Danielson, which will make it very tough to put on the label lock. To secure a submission victory, he'd have to rely on that running knee, as Shawn Michaels hits a nice springboard back elbow, dropping Danielson to the mat, and then a little bit of insult, driving the bottom of his boot right into the bridge of the nose, and it looks like Bryan Danielson has been busted open in the nose by Shawn Michaels, who is continuing to hammer away, opening up that wound. Michaels into a cover, referee in terrible position. Doesn't matter, we only get a 1 count. Michaels heading up to the top rope. What's he gonna aim for here? He's not calling for Danielson. Oh, big time splash. He nearly flew across the ring for that one. But Danielson able to kick out at just the count of 1. What a display of determination by Bryan Danielson, able to kick out after that devastating splash at just a 1 count. Nice European uppercut by the American Dragon. Drops Michaels to the mat. And now Danielson looking to go for a submission hold. He's got the legs of Shawn Michaels wrapped up. Interesting choice considering he's been working on the neck in this match. Nice shot of the referee's back there. Good job there, camera crew. Holy moly, flying forearm out of nowhere. And then the drop right to the crotchels. Scoop slam by Michaels. He turns him over, going to the cover. Referee in much better position this time. And the Dragon kicks out before the referee can come down for the count of 3. Michaels doing a nice half circle around Danielson, up on the top rope, big time elbow drop, lands it. Waiting for Danielson to get up to his feet. He could be looking to just shoot him with this sweet chin music. No, it's the old crescent suplex. He didn't just bust out the retro attire, he even busted out the retro finisher. And it's enough to put away the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, as Shawn Michaels gets the victory here this week in Fantasy Warfare to kick things off as Viewer Choice Month continues. What a victory for the Heartbreak Kid as we take a look back at some of the highlights of this contest. Danielson had a lot of fighting him, but it wasn't enough to keep his trainer down. As the old saying goes, I'm sure Shawn Michaels taught Danielson everything that he knows, but Michaels didn't teach Danielson everything that Michaels knows. That concludes our opening contest here this week on Fantasy Warfare. The action is going to continue coming up next with women's action. AJ Lee returns to Fantasy Warfare action as she goes one-on-one with the debuting Nikki Cross. Welcome back to Atlanta. It's been a long time since we've heard this one. Here comes the Twisted Sister.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from Glasgow, Scotland, Nikki Cross.
The Twisted Sister herself, Nikki Cross, making a beeline for the ring and the ropes as she gets ready for singles action here this week in Fantasy Warfare, going one-on-one with AJ Lee. AJ Lee quickly becoming a regular here in Fantasy Warfare. She made an appearance during the Royals of the Ring tournament. She was in action last week against Britt Baker in a losing effort. And here this week she'll look to get back on a winning track with a victory over Nikki Cross, but that will be no easy feat, as Nikki Cross is a bundle of explosive offense and unpredictable behavior. AJ Lee entering the ring here. She is ready for competition. Do a little bit of shadow boxing in the corner. That's right. Punch that close in the corner. AJ Lee is ready for action. Nikki Cross is ready for action. The referee is ready to call the action, and he rings the bell, and we are officially underway with our second contest of the week here at Fantasy Warfare. A quick programming note to everybody who may have missed the announcements. Season 1 of WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare will come to an end on Friday, March the 10th at 6 p.m. Eastern, right here at youtube.com/@BloodyBillVox. What a kick there by AJ Lee. Season 1 will come to a close on Friday, March 10th, and Season 2 under WWE 2K23 will premiere on Friday, April 7th. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel, 6 p.m. Eastern at BloodyBillVox. Nice straight jacket neck breaker by Nikki Cross, as she now heads up to the top rope for an aerial attack. She's waiting on AJ to get back up to her feet. What's she got to hit her with? Oh, okay, that was interesting. That was certainly interesting. Yeah. As Nikki Cross gets dumped out to the floor. Referee had started the 10 count, but Nikki Cross gets right back into the ring, wasting no time. Coming in, clubbing the spine in the back of AJ Lee. Stomping away at that spine. Now heading back up to the top rope. More aerial attack. Oh, nobody home for that one. Nikki tried for the big-time splash, but there was nobody home on that one as AJ was able to scout it well and move out of the way. And AJ Lee back in the driver's seat of offense, but she tried for 2 lockups there, missed both attempts, and now it is Nikki Cross who capitalizes with that nice belly-to-belly overhead throw, and then a brutal knee right to the side of the skull. AJ Lee breaking the hold of Nikki Cross, sends her off with an Irish whip, and Nikki goes flying over the top rope and down to the floor once more. Almost looked like AJ Lee couldn't decide if she wanted to give chase to Nikki Cross, but she decided to follow, and the referee has just began their 10 count, as both of these combatants have to the count of 10 to get back into the ring. I say it every time we flirt with it, but we've yet to have a disqualification or a count-out finish here at Fantasy Warfare, and straight-up singles matches do offer that possibility. Of course, we do see a lot of stipulations here. Lots of situations where there are no rules, but in a case like this, you have to wonder if there will ever be a time where the combatants just say, you know what? I don't care. We're brawling to a 10 count. Or you know what? I'm grabbing that steel chair and I'm going to bash their skull in. It's yet to happen. Still a few episodes left in Season 1, and of course we'll have all of Season 2. Nikki Cross stomping away at AJ Lee, but AJ counters her. As I'm saying, Nikki Cross was stomping her. Over the top rope and down to the floor goes AJ. Nikki Cross has been one who's been thrown over the top rope repeatedly here in this contest, so she's probably looking to have AJ get a little taste of her own medicine, but AJ Lee is quickly already back on the offense. She was kicking away at the head and the chest and the arm, and now she is just pulling that arm back of Nikki Cross and then driving 2 knees down into the arm that was still cinched behind the back. AJ rolls back into the ring. Nikki Cross comes back in after her as well. What do we got here? Oh, she's tying her up in the ropes. Couple of brutal knees to the skull. Nikki Cross is dazed, confused, and oh, she is hit hard down to the floor. Referee starts the 10 count, but AJ is quickly there to break it up and head out to the floor. Going after Nikki Cross, hitting her with a hard forearm shot that drops her. Now AJ back in the ring. Nikki Cross coming back in after her as well. AJ perched on the top. She misses. Big old botch. This was reality, we'd say called botchamania. Head first into the turnbuckle goes AJ Lee. Hard forearm shot by Nikki. Now driving the bottoms of her boots right into the collarbone. Gotta be careful with that sort of stuff. You break somebody's collarbone. Send that bone right into the throat. Oh, nasty lariat by AJ Lee takes Nikki down. Now bringing her right back up to her feet and hit her with a Superman punch. AJ must be a fan of Roman Reigns. AJ with a mountain pound. No way she learned that one from Phil. AJ going back to that trapped arm attack that we saw on the floor, now utilizing it in the ring. And it will conclude with, 2 knees to the back and the arms of Nikki Cross. Oh, gnarly Kinshasa out of absolutely nowhere. And Nikki Cross is able to kick out. AJ stomping away at the chest of Nikki Cross. I'm not sure what sort of effect that will really have, though, considering Nikki Cross is pounding on her chest for the majority of her entrance, and oftentimes during a match as like a fire-up. So I'd wonder if hitting Nikki Cross in the chest is like hitting a Samoan in the head. It's just a mistake, and you might even end up hurting yourself in the long run. Absolutely nobody home for that one. Boy, these two maybe want to see the eye doctor, because they've been swinging and missing when it comes to the aerial attacks. Oh, down goes AJ Lee. Into the cover goes Nikki Cross. Referee is in a terrible position. I once heard a story about an independent worker screaming at a referee to go back to referee school, but maybe that worker should have been screaming at these referees in WWE 2K22, because a lot of them, their ring positioning is just, it's just pitiful, man. Nikki Cross into the cover. And AJ's able to kick out one more time. Nikki Cross got to be wondering what it's going to take to put away AJ Lee. She's gone deep into the bag of tricks here. AJ Lee's been able to kick out of both of them thus far. Oh, nice knee to the skull. Did you see Nikki Cross crumble after that one? Oof, and another one. AJ Lee getting relentless in her attacks here. Going back to that trapped arm one more time. I mean, hey, it keeps working. She keeps hitting it. I guess why not keep going back to that well? You just hope you don't end up in a situation where you're at the well one too many times. Oh, complete shot, jumping style by AJ Lee into the cover. Nikki Cross is down, and she's going to stay down. AJ Lee is able to get the victory here with that jumping complete shot. getting that 1-2-3 over Nikki Cross here this week in Fantasy Warfare. The action is going to continue coming up next in another one of our Viewers' Choice matches. This one for the AEW World Championship under Extreme Rules. It will be Dustin Rhodes going one-on-one with Ravem. That's coming up next here on Fantasy Warfare. Don't you dare go anywhere. Welcome back to Fantasy Warfare. This one's going to be interesting. Extreme Rules for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship as requested by the viewers.
The following contest is an Extreme Rules match and is for the World Championship. Making his way to the ring from New Jersey, weighing in at 277 pounds,
Ravem making his way into the ring, his first appearance here in WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare. And he's got a tall task ahead of him in an opponent who is also making their Fantasy Warfare debut. His challenger here tonight for this Extreme Rules match, the natural Dustin Rhodes. A man who spent a lot of his career known as Goldust. Also spent a good chunk of his career
Austin, Texas, weighing in at 232 pounds, Dustin Rhodes.
And there it is, as we were getting ready to say, he also spent a good chunk of his career as Dustin Rhodes. In fact, we were first introduced to Dustin Rhodes in WCW under that name. We would also see him in the World Wrestling Federation in a short-lived stint in 1991, standing alongside his father, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, as they went into a grudge with the Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase and Virgil, culminating in a tag team match at the 1991 Royal Rumble. Dustin would be gone from the company shortly thereafter, as would Dusty, both of whom would return to WCW. Dustin Rhodes would have quite the level of success in WCW, multi-time United States and Tag Team Champion, before he would later go on to the World Wrestling Federation and World Wrestling Entertainment, where he had, as some would say, arguably his greatest level of success under the Goldust character. But we'll see if Dustin can maybe take it home with a World Championship here this week in Fantasy Warfare, as Extreme Rules is officially underway, as Ravem has taken control of this match from the opening bell. It's very early, still plenty of action left, but Ravem is looking to make a short night of it, as wrestlers like to say. They don't get paid by the hour. Ankle lock by Ravem. Kicked off by the American Dream, the Natural. There's so many nicknames in that family. We got the American Nightmare, the American Dream, the Natural. If we're talking about Goldust, we call him the Bizarre One. Lots of names in that Rhodes family. How about Brandy? She get a nickname? I know she was the chief brand officer in AEW, but that's a corporate title. I wonder if she ever had a nickname in wrestling. Like American Nightmare wife kind of deal? I don't know. Let's stop speculating, talking about Rhodes' nicknames. Let's get back to calling the action here this week in Fantasy Warfare, as Ravem smashes the arm of Dustin Rhodes off the canvas. But Dustin not taking that offensive attack lightly from Ravem. Oh, nice splash by the Natural. I keep wanting to call him the American Dream because as he gets older, I feel like Dustin Rhodes is looking more and more like his father. I mean, obviously it makes sense. He came from the man's loins. Oh, nice clothesline by Dustin. Raining down with those fists right to the bridge of the nose of Ravem. Oh, hard shot by Ravem to the gut. Belly-to-belly suplex takes the Natural down. Ravem now bringing Dustin back up to his feet. Hard shots to the jaw. Gut. 2 shots to the gut. Ravem bringing Dustin back up to his feet. Irish whip sends him off the opposite side. Oh, clothesline. And a bulldog. Right out of the page of Dustin's playbook. And Dustin able to kick out of that one. Ravem bringing Dustin back up to his feet after that near fall. Spent a few moments arguing with the referee, and I think he's paying for that one now. As Dustin just hit a beautiful snap suplex, and now Dustin heading out to the floor and looking to go under the ring. Oh, he's got a sledgehammer. The Rhodes family likes bringing out the sledgehammers. As Dustin just levels Ravem multiple times with that sledgehammer to the legs and body. And then a nice atomic drop. Raining down with those fists once more to the top of the skull of Ravem. Dustin Rhodes in big-time control right now. But Ravem looking to sweep the legs out, and he does. I don't know why he said looking to after he'd already completed it. Nice springboard back elbow by Dustin. But he gets met with a kick to the top of the skull. It's a straight-up slugfest right now, and Dustin hits a bulldog out of nowhere, busting open Ravem. Dustin down into the cover, referee in terrible position, sent him back to ref school as Ravem kicks out at the count of 2. Fans in attendance here in Atlanta enjoying the action. Oh, crossroads by Dustin. Borrowing the finish of his brother. And then a running bulldog, his own finish on Ravem. Dustin into the cover. Referee is there. We get a count of 1. We get 2. And we don't get 3 as Ravem is able to kick out at the count of 2 3/4. Dustin smashed the hand of Ravem, but then he catches a knee to the skull from Ravem. DDT by Dustin. Taking the play out of Ravem's book. Nice forearm smash down across the forehead. Dustin into the cover. We get a count 1. We get 2. And we get 3. That's all she wrote. That forearm shot looked pretty friggin' brutal. There wasn't a lot of oomph or anything beyond just sounded like a crack of the skull. Someone may want to check on Ravem to make sure that he doesn't have an internal skull bleed after that one. As we take a look back at the highlights from this match, we are going to get ready for our next match, our 4th match of the week. For the Raw Women's Championship, Jacqueline will look to unseat the current reigning and defending champion, Bianca Belair. That's coming up next here on Fantasy Warfare. Don't you dare go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Here is your winner and new World Champion, Dustin Rhodes. The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the Raw Women's Championship.
Welcome back down to Fantasy Warfare action. It's time for the Raw Women's Championship to be on the line. We just crowned a new AEW World Champion. Could we be on the verge of crowning another new champion? We'll find out in just a few moments after our combatants for this championship match enter here this week on Fantasy Warfare. It's been an action-packed week here thus far. We still have 2 more matches to go after this one. Abyss and The Undertaker will meet one-on-one inside Hell in a Cell. And of course, our main event this week, title versus title, Big Eagle versus the NWO spray-painted WCW Championship. It will be Stone Cold Steve Austin going one-on-one with Hollywood Hulk Hogan. And there you hear the whips over the PA system here in Atlanta. And that can only mean one thing, the entrance of the Raw Women's Champion. It is Bianca Belair. Gotta love that fancy little nameplate she gets being the Raw Women's Champion. Everybody else has got the Fantasy Warfare treatment, but Bianca Belair's got a nice fancy red metallic white trace. White trim, I should say, not trace, trim. No trace on that, it's trim. Bianca Belair has had her championship challenge on a number of occasions throughout Fantasy Warfare, and she is having a challenge one more time here this week, going up against Jacqueline as requested by the viewers over at youtube.com/@BloodyBillBox. Now we're going to take it on down to the ring for our formal introductions of champion and challenger here for this Raw Women's Championship match.
Introducing the challenger from Dallas, Texas, Jacqueline. And introducing the champion from Knoxville, Tennessee, the Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair.
Bianca Belair officially surrendering her championship over to the referee, who shows it to the challenger, Jacqueline. Jacqueline would love nothing more than to walk out of Atlanta here this week with the Raw Women's Championship, making her the defending champion anytime she steps into the ring. But it's a tall task in front of her in the form of Bianca Belair, and I don't just mean because Bianca has the height advantage. I mean, Bianca Belair has been one of the most dominant females in active professional wrestling in recent years, and she is showing that right away, but Jacqueline shows the veteran skills, quickly countering those kicks to the chest. Uh-oh, press slam time. Could it be? Up in the air and down goes Jacqueline. That's a quick but devastating ride as now Bianca Belair has the surfboard locked in on Jacqueline. Into the cover, and we only get nothing. Lock up in the center of the ring, sidewalk slam attempt, nope, power slam attempt, and ooh, dropping her down like a sack of bricks. Nice standing moonsault by the champion on Jacqueline. Now Belair bringing Jacqueline back up to her feet, but she gets caught. Oh, nice counter and a brutal knee. My word, what a combo that was. We saw this combination a little bit earlier on from AJ Lee. We're seeing it again with Jacqueline. I swear, some of these folks here in Fantasy Warfare, they must sit the same training gym together. They, a lot of them get some of the same moves. So I feel like maybe they're hitting the same gyms together. Not unheard of. Bianca Belair working her way out of that submission attempt by Jacqueline. Both are freed back up to the standing base. Jacqueline hits with a body shot. Irish whip sends her off to the other side. Oh! Tries for a second kick, but Bianca moved out of the way. Boot to the midsection by Belair. She's got Jacqueline up in the air. Powerbomb attempt. No, it's an alley-oop. Bianca Belair driving her knee into the back of the knee of Jacqueline and then wrenching at that knee, pulling it in a direction it is not intended to go when it is underneath pressure. Nice suplex attempt. Could it be? Oh, it's the squatting suplex. Let me do a couple squats. I was a few short of the gym today. Hitting that standing vertical suplex. Bianca looks like she's trying to get her in a good position for a pin. Down to the cover goes Bianca, and only a 1 count. Kind of surprising to only get a 1 count on that one, considering that suplex had blood rushing to the skull and then nasty impact. Big time elbow drop to the back of Jacqueline, right into the lower spine, before another devastating kick sends Jacqueline about halfway across the ring. Boot to the midsection by Jacqueline, countering herself out. Nice back fist. Jacqueline just lighting up Bianca Belair right now. She just lit her up with attack, and she's not stopping. This attack is relentless. Bianca finally blocking a shot, sending Jacqueline across the ring with an Irish whip. Nice shot right to the turnbuckle. Kicking at the leg of Jacqueline. Scoop slam attempt, got her in the air, nope. And a chop blocked by Jacqueline, utilizing the veteran skills, going deep into the playbook, and a nice German suplex by Jacqueline. Jacqueline, one of the toughest females to ever step foot in the professional wrestling ranks. She's fought men, she's fought women, she'll fight any comer. Clothesline attempts, all 3 successful by Bianca Belair. As Jacqueline stumbles into the corner, hard shoulder thrust in the corner. Jacqueline kicks her way out of the corner, coming back after Bianca. Snapmare takes her down, hitting the ropes, and a nice drop kick to the side of the head. Takes Bianca down, springboard attempt into the moonsault. Referee there for the count. And Bianca Belair once again able to kick out Jacqueline, throwing everything she's got at Bianca, looking to walk out of here with the Raw Women's Championship. To be the one that unseats Bianca would be quite the accomplishment. Doesn't matter who you are. Take a title away from somebody here at Fantasy Warfare, that's a big deal. Jacqueline up on the top rope, comes down with a double axe handle, dropping Bianca back down to the mat, and then raining down with Fist of Fury right to the temple. And some more, this time changing up the hands. A little southpaw action for you. Bianca catches the foot and a nice dragon screw. Here's a strength display. Hooking the arms and legs into a press slam. She's got her up. And down she goes. Bianca once again returning to the leg attack, driving her knee into the back of the knee of Jacqueline, looking to remove Jacqueline's standing base from her in this contest. In what has been a rather back and forth match thus far. Torture rack attempt is countered. Jump swinging DDT. Jacqueline nailing the jump swing and DDT. Referee there for the cover. And Bianca Belair kicks out once again. Nice body shots by Jacqueline. Oh my goodness. That was a disgusting drop kick. Turned Bianca inside out. But Bianca answered with a standing shooting star press. Is there anything this woman cannot do in the ring? Big time 450 splash down on Jacqueline. I ask and she answers. And the answer is no, there's nothing I can't do in the ring, as she nailed that beautiful 450. It was not enough to get the victory, but my goodness was it beautiful. Stomping on the hand of Jacqueline. Boot to the midsection. Suplex got her up. Going for the squats again. I guess she was more than too short on the squats at the gym today, because there's 2 more. followed by that nasty vertical suplex by Bianca Belair. Legs get swept out from underneath her by the challenger. Jacqueline brings Bianca up. Nice counter by Bianca. Hard shots to the jaw. Look at those cross hooks right to the jawline and a beautiful drop kick by the champion off the ropes. Big time frog splash, standing style, into the cover. We get 2 and we get 3. Bianca Belair retains.
I'm on my own, against the wall. The pressure's building, but no, I will never fall.
Bianca Belair retaining her Raw Women's Championship here this week in Fantasy Warfare. Jacqueline pulled out as many tricks as she could think of in this one, but it was not enough to take the title off the champion. As Bianca Belair celebrates retaining her Raw Women's Championship, we are going to get ready to lower the Hell in a Cell here into Fantasy Warfare. As for the first time ever, it will be the Monster Abyss going one-on-one with the Phenom, The Undertaker. That one's coming up next as Fantasy Warfare, my goodness. Fantasy Warfare rolls on. Coming up next, don't you dare go anywhere, but I'm going to go somewhere and learn how to talk. We'll be back.
The Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair.
And now I see that I'm way better than before. I needed you. Think you fall down, I'ma watch you fall down. I'm living large now, I never needed you at all. Think I'll fall down, I'ma watch you fall down. I'm living large now, I never needed you at all. I never needed you at all. Watch me shine now, watch me shine now. I never needed you at all. I never needed you at all. I'm on my own, against the wall. The pressure's
Welcome back to Atlanta for more Fantasy Warfare action. It's time for a Hell in a Cell war. A first-time matchup. It was rumored to have been possible for WrestleMania, I believe it was 22 or 23, but it happens here.
Cell match, making his way to the ring from parts unknown, weighing in at 410 pounds, the Monster
The Monster Abyss making his way to Fantasy Warfare action for the very first time at the request of the viewers for this Hell in a Cell matchup with The Undertaker. The call was out for either of the Brothers of Destruction to take on the Monster Abyss, and it was the Phenom himself, The Undertaker, who would answer the call of the Monster Abyss for this Hell in a Cell matchup. What a war this ought to be. Our semi-main event of the week here in Fantasy Warfare. Of course, our title for title main event still to come this week. Stone Cold Steve Austin defending his Big Eagle Championship against Hollywood Hulk Hogan and the Big Gold spray painted with the letters NWO. And now here comes the opponent of the Monster Abyss, the Phenom, the Lord of Darkness, the Hall of Famer. You know him. We all know him. But let's let the ring announcer tell us exactly who this is.
Death Valley, weighing in at 299 pounds, the Undertaker.
The Undertaker making that slow walk to the ring here this week in Fantasy Warfare. The Undertaker, no stranger to Hell in a Cell matches here in Fantasy Warfare. He main evented our first episode all the way back against Sting. It was a bit of a lackluster affair. In fact, it was so lackluster that Fantasy Warfare management called a Royal Rumble on the fly. And a Royal Rumble match actually ended our first episode unannounced. Hopefully we don't see anything like that happen here. Of course, we still have a main event to come, so even if this happens to be a stinker, there's still one more match to redeem the night. Can feel the chill in the air here in Atlanta, Georgia. Normally we call it Hot Atlanta, but it's, I get Cold Atlanta. Yeah, Cold Atlanta. Cold Atlanta with The Undertaker entering. Even with those flames bursting in the background, that chill is in the air as the dead man graces the masses here for this Hell in a Cell match. You gotta wonder if The Undertaker will find himself in any sort of championship fantasy warfare matchups coming up later in this season, or even in Season 2 under WWE 2K23. Yeesh. The Undertaker's head is off, the thunder and lightning envelop the arena. And The Undertaker removes the jacket. We are now moments away officially. The Undertaker is ready for battle, as is the Monster Abyss. There you see the top of the Hell in a Cell structure. And the crowd immediately behind the hometown favorite, so to speak. Abyss has never appeared in any sort of a WWE ring. Of course, this is WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare. Performers of all promotions have stepped foot into this ring, but the fans solely behind The Undertaker, although they seem early on impressed with Abyss's efforts. Throwing The Undertaker around, and Abyss is wasting no time going under the ring, grabbing a sledgehammer. We saw one of those earlier on tonight with Dustin, Rhodes, and Ravem, and it looks like we're going to see another one here as that sledgehammer's in the ring, but The Undertaker did not let Abyss use it as he quickly countered the efforts and now throws Abyss off the ring steps outside the ring. Very limited room to move outside the Hell in a Cell. There is room to move, but it is very limited. Taker throwing Abyss down outside the ring, now bringing him back up to his feet. Very slowly. That's 410 pounds of mass to bring up to their feet. And Abyss hits The Undertaker with a couple of hard shots and then nails him with a nice European that sends him around the other side. But The Undertaker was waiting for him, caught him with a shot of his own. Taker gets thrown down by Abyss. Abyss and The Undertaker just kind of throwing each other back and forth here. I'm having flashbacks to The Undertaker and Sting from episode 1. When they just went back and forth, one guy be in the ring, one guy be on the floor, and they would change places. This is very reminiscent of that, as Abyss now finally out of that dead spot. These two guys landing those hard shots, sending each other into the cage. And now The Undertaker throws Abyss down again. I guess it's going to be a match of that. We're going to be calling punches and throws. Abyss sends The Undertaker back into the ring. Well, it beats what they were doing on the floor. I gotta say that. It beats the hell out of these guys, just throwing each other back and forth, punching each other a couple times, and then, rinse and repeat. Like I said, it was giving me flashbacks to Sting and Taker from episode 1, as Abyss tries for that slam and nobody was home. Nice knee to the midsection by the Monster Abyss. Oh, nice backbreaker. Abyss grabs The Undertaker. He's got him up and sends him flying across the ring. Nice choke throw by Abyss. Now looking to make The Undertaker tap out here with a modified camel clutch. Taker fights his way free from it. Abyss catches him with a right cross. Going for a choke slam, but The Undertaker counters. Irish whip sends Abyss across the ring to the far corner. Now Taker utilizing those long legs to choke the air passages of Abyss, dropping the monster to a seated position before The Undertaker utilizes that sledgehammer, and again, oh, right to the gut. Undertaker has Abyss. It could be time to take a walk on the old school line. Here he goes, walking across and down across the back. The old school rope walker. Stomping him in his spine, running down into a cover. Referee in great position for that pinfall. But Abyss is able to kick out at the count of 2. The Undertaker arguing it. It's kind of weird. Oh, trying for that sledgehammer again, but Abyss counters with a big-time clothesline and then a nice shin kick to the skull. Abyss going over, grabbing the sledgehammer, and now giving the Undertaker a dose of the shots that Abyss had to eat a few moments ago. Oh, there's a 4th shot by the Undertaker. Taker tried for a clothesline, but Abyss basically swatted him aside and said, no thanks. I've eaten enough clotheslines in my life. I'm not hungry for one. Nice choke toss by the monster. Abyss waiting on the Undertaker. What's he gonna go for here? Black hole slam. He nails it. Referee a little slow to get in position. Count of 2, and the Undertaker kicks out. The Fantasy Warfare faithful are enjoying this one. Nice. Not a choke slam, more of a choke slam sit-out style, but it practically did not phase the Undertaker. Undertaker's got him up. Tombstone time. Yes, it is. Tombstone time it is for Abyss. This could be all. Referee is there with 2, and Abyss kicks out. Taker with the Irish whip sends Abyss over the top rope and down to the floor. Oh, nice European uppercut sends Abyss into the cage wall. Abyss is dazed and confused, and I think the Undertaker is also dazed and confused. Abyss has the Undertaker. Oh, into the cage wall, and the Undertaker has busted through, and Abyss and the Undertaker are now outside of Hell in a Cell. Undertaker thrown down outside Hell in a Cell. The cage wall has been busted by Abyss, throwing the Undertaker's body through the cage wall. Oh, nice jawbreaker by the Undertaker. Abyss sends the Undertaker over to the guardrail, but Taker avoids the impact. Abyss now thrown down to the mat one more time. Getting tough to see here. We got a capacity crowd here in Atlanta for Fantasy Warfare. Not quite sure why we don't change camera angles here. Maybe tell a camera guy to get down at ringside. I mean, come on now. The Undertaker is scaling the Hell in a Cell structure now. Here we go. Will Abyss follow? Yes, he will. Abyss is following up the Hell in a Cell. It is all out chaos here. Abyss and the Undertaker on top of Hell in a Cell. Oh no. What's the Undertaker gonna do? Could it be a last ride? It's a last ride on top of the Hell in a Cell, but Abyss gets right up, and he gets hip tossed through the top of the Hell in a Cell. Hip toss through the top of the Hell in a Cell. Referee there for the cover, and somehow Abyss kicks out of the count of 2. The man literally stood back up to his feet after a last ride, and then also got hip tossed through the top of the cell. Oh, nice running clothesline by The Undertaker. The Undertaker, I think he's realizing a tombstone and a last ride's not going to do the trick here. And that's it. The Undertaker makes Abyss tap out and wins what was a chaotic finish to this Hell in a Cell matchup. here this week in Fantasy Warfare. Things were sluggish at times, but as you can see here in some of the highlights, it definitely had its moments, including at the very end with the action heading up to the top of the Hell in a Cell, that last ride that Abyss just stood right up from. Hip toss through the cell. What a Hell in a Cell matchup here this week in Fantasy Warfare, but we still have one more match to go this week. It's our main event. Title versus title. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Hollywood Hulk Hogan. And it's coming up next here on Fantasy Warfare.
Here is your winner, the Undertaker!
Welcome back, everybody. It's main event time. Title versus title. Hogan versus Austin, the dream match many people wanted to see in the 90s that we never saw. We're going to see it here. It's main event time. Here this week.
Champion contest is a Falls Count Anywhere match and is for the WCW World Heavyweight and the WWE Championship. Introducing the champion, representing the NWO, from Hollywood, California, weighing in at 302 pounds. He is the WCW World Heavyweight Champion, Hollywood Hogan!
Well, I did not have it anywhere in my notes. This match was scheduled to be a Falls Count Anywhere match, but talk about upping the ante for our main event by Fantasy Warfare Management. Not only is it the Big Gold against the Big Eagle, it's Falls Count Anywhere. The winner of this match will walk away with 2 championships. Could it be Hollywood Hulk Hogan, or could it be his opponent, Stone Cold Steve Austin? Any wrestling fan of the Attitude Era will tell you that a big-time dream matchup that was often talked about that never happened was Hulk Hogan versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. And there was a chance for that to happen in 2002, but unfortunately, things were in a little bit of disarray, and without going too deep into the weeds, I'm sure some political natures were in play. And ultimately, we never saw a big-time Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Hollywood Hulk Hogan showdown on any mainstream stage. But hey, Fantasy Warfare is pretty damn mainstream to me, so we're going to see that matchup here this week. It's our main event. Here comes the other champ.
Victoria, Texas, weighing in at 252 pounds, Stone Cold Steve Austin!
The Texas Rattlesnake making his entrance here this week for the Fantasy Warfare main event. Austin and Hogan. Big time dream matchup, big time money matchup. It should have happened, it never happened, it happens here this week. There's really not a whole lot you can say about it in advance other than talking about it. It's one of those matches that everybody wanted and we just never got it. We're going to get it here. I, for one, am excited to see how this one's going to play out. Stone Cold Steve Austin surrendering his championship. Hollywood Hulk Hogan surrendering his championship. Referee takes to the center of the ring with both belts in the air. It's title for title. It's our Fantasy Warfare main event here this week. Episode number 14. I had to look. That's right, I did. Your favorite Fantasy Warfare commentator's memory has not been the greatest lately. We keep a notebook at the desk now. Hulk Hogan in control in the early moments of this contest as he stomps away at the hand of Steve Austin, but Austin back up on his feet, and Hogan quickly catches him, sends him off with the Irish whip, taking a page out of Austin's book, stomping a mud hole, walking it dry. Austin not taking too kindly to that at all as he stomps away at Hulk Hogan. Hogan with a counter kicking to the top of the skull of Austin. Irish whip by Austin, and Hogan dumps out to the floor. That Irish whip must have had some serious force behind it. Maybe 3 cans of whoop ass behind it instead of just the usual can. Hogan has Austin up. Down across the hardest part of the ring on the floor. Into the cover. Referee, what are you doing? Referee spacing out there. Hogan easily cheated out of a victory there. I think if we had gone back and run the tape on that one, that could have been an easy 3 count, and the referee was being a space cadet in the ring or something. He's just chilling out there, maybe counting the lights up in the ceiling of the arena here in Atlanta. I'm not sure what that ref is doing now. The referee finally getting in on the action, coming out to the floor. Considering this is a Falls Count Anywhere match, you probably should try to follow the action. Hogan with the pinfall attempt on Austin, but he only got a 1 count. Hogan's got Austin up on the shoulders. Uh-oh. I've seen this setup before. Running him right into the guardrail, spine first, driving Steve Austin right into the metal. Backbreaker by Hollywood, now stretching Austin out. It's all legal here on the floor. Falls Count Anywhere. And these guys can grab a weapon and beat the hell out of each other if they want to. It's all legal here. Hogan brings Austin up to his feet, but Austin catches him with a boot and a Luthez press. Weird choice of camera angle. Austin in the cover. Hogan is down for 2, and he doesn't stay down for 3. Hogan able to kick out right before the count of 3 on this one. There it is. Stone Cold Stunner by Steve Austin. We get a count. We get 2. And Hogan kicks out right after the count of 2. Not even a close call on that one. As Stone Cold Steve Austin hits the stunner. My word. Flying fist drop by Austin. Right to the side of the skull of Hogan. Could this be what he needs to put Hogan away? Stomp to the midsection. Oh, he's looking for a submission victory. I don't know who the referee's talking to. Does Hogan's face on his boots speak? Is that what's going on there? It might be. Oh, nice clothesline by Austin. Block shot by Hogan, forearm shot. Got him up into a power slam position. Yes, it is. Big time power slam by Hollywood. Oh, the big boot by Hogan. Down into the cover on Austin. We get a count. We get 2. And Austin kicks out of the count of 2. Hogan now hitting the ropes after the big boot. Always comes the big leg drop. Down into the cover. Referee is there. We get 1. We get 2. And we get 3. As Hollywood Hulk Hogan picks up the victory over Stone Cold Steve Austin. And now, as a result, Hollywood Hulk Hogan is a double champion here in Fantasy Warfare. So when he is in action here in Fantasy Warfare, his challengers will have a choice of which championship they challenge. And Stone Cold Steve Austin, in just a matter of 2 weeks' time, has lost both his Intercontinental and WWE Big Eagle Championships. But Stone Cold Steve Austin will have a chance at redemption coming up next week here at Fantasy Warfare. We'll talk about that in just a moment.
Here is your winner and WWE Champion, Hollywood Hogan.
What a night of action has been this week here on Fantasy Warfare. Hollywood Hulk Hogan is now a double champion. But before we go, we'd like to tell you to come on back next Friday night, right here, youtube.com/@BloodyBillBox at 6 p.m. Eastern for another brand new episode of WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare. And next week, it will be viewer's choice as gimmicks of past and present collide. And in our main event, it will be past and present colliding when Stunning Steve Austin goes one-on-one with Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'd like to thank you all for joining us for another exciting episode of WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare. I'll see you next week.